Hello everyone, I'm Shruti.
And I am Atul.
We are hosts of this event where you will get to learn a lots of new and valuable things of getting placed in product-based companies. So it is the time to sit back, listen and gain the knowledge and then step up by implementing all you have learned.
So today we have Mr. Kushal Vijay with us, who is former SDE at Microsoft. He is also backend intern at Phantom Stack, GCE19 mentor at TensorFlow, ACM ICPC19 regionalist, and YouTuber with more than 7K plus subscribers. His YouTube channel name is Savage Programmer, and he is here to give you brief insights of getting placed in any product-based company, as well as to answer all your relevant questions.
So guys, be ready to add some great value to your skills and here we welcome Mr. Kushal. Sir, over to you.
Wow. Hello. Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, Atul and Shruti, for the sweet introduction. It's a pleasure to be here with and sharing my experience and the strategies with all of you. So, in short, let me tell you what we are going to discuss in the next 30-40 minutes. It will be mostly around product based companies, the roadmap for students from first year to the final year, and some interesting questions that you might have in your mind, like is CP competitive programming required or not, or projects versus competitive programming or DSA, and off campus placements, referrals from LinkedIn. So these will be the things, and also crash courses or the preparation strategy for the last 2 months before the placements, and how many questions one needs to do for a particular topic and which platform to prefer. So these will be some questions and some interesting topics that we are going to discuss in the next 30-40 minutes, starting with the first and foremost thing, that is for which we are here, product based companies. So why and what are product based companies? So product based companies are companies which whose products or whose products are being used by customers or businesses globally. For example, Google, Microsoft, Adobe, Amazon, and you might have came across their products as well. You might be using their products in your day-to-day life as well. So why students prefer to go to such companies, and why their dream companies are such companies? The reason is, one of the reasons is money. Obviously, they provide a good pay, and along with that, there are perks related to work, like flexibility in work. You don't have to go to 8 hours to office daily. You can work according to your flexibility, either during the day, either during the night. And also, during the situation of COVID, uh, these companies are the ones who didn't laid off their employees. The job security was there because employees can work from their home. So these are some of the perks, and there are other perks as well, but that should be kept aside. And let's move on to our major thing: how a student can get a placement in such companies. Starting from first year, we'll be discussing when a student enters into the college. And so one of the major eligibility criteria to be a part of placement for these companies is that you need to be a part of computer science domain or some related domains like electronics and communication, or triple E, or IT background. You need to have this branch in your college, right, to be a part of the placement process of such companies. Now, when a student enters into the college in the first year, there are a lot of confusions in his or her mind, right? Because there are a lot of things to prepare. But if you have a correct roadmap or a correct guidance, uh, in the comment section, can you please tell me if the lights and the voice is clear? Anybody can comment down, or Atul or Shruti can give me a heads up.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay, great, great. So in the first year, when the student enters, there needs to be, if there would be a proper guidance, the student won't wander around, or wander around a lot of things, right? So the first and foremost thing the student needs to do in the first semester, so we'll be following a strategy of 6 months and a new thing. So for the first 6 months of your college, you need to dedicate yourself towards a programming language. That is the most basic thing that is required by any company, which is a part of, which is a product based company. And the language needs to be, or more preferably, object oriented programming language. For example, C++ or Java. Now, there is a question in students like, we, why should we not use Python for studying data structures and algorithms and for OOPS? So the reason being, it is okay if you use Python to clear your online test, but when it comes to interviews, it is very rare that the interviewers will ask you questions in Python, or will ask you to write code in Python. So the most common languages, according to some surveys, is C++, Java, or JavaScript, and more preferably use C++ or Java because it will make your foundation pretty strong, right? So starting with the programming language, give some amount of time, at least a semester, to study, to get command over a particular programming language along with the object-oriented programming concepts. Now the first semester is over, you don't have to exhaust yourself with other, buzzwords like computer programming or data structures or algorithm or projects or something like that. Just focus on one thing: programming language and object-oriented programming concepts. These, it will help you to gain command over a single thing rather than, exhausting yourself with a lot of buzzwords. Moving to the second semester, you need to start learning about data structures and algorithm, which is the most important thing product-based companies want in a fresher or an intern, right? So start preparing about data structures and algorithm along with CP. Now, here, interest is one of the major factors if a student will continue doing computer programming or will stop doing computer programming. So when you start doing DSA, it is good to start doing, once again. Okay, so when you start doing DSA, it is good to start doing computer programming as well. Now, how will you start computer programming? It's very easy. You just have to go to any of the platforms like Codeforces or CodeChef and start giving competitions. It's not like there's a book kind of thing where you have to study day in and day out about computer programming and then you can then you can excel in it. It's not like that. You just have to start giving competitions, and in the meantime you are also studying DSA, right? So DSA will definitely help you in gaining more confidence as well as growth. You'll feel growth in computer programming if you continue doing DSA along with that, right? Now, uh, it's up to you. If you want to continue with computer programming, it will be, good for you. But if you want to stop, it's okay to stop, but don't leave DSA aside. Just keep on doing DSA. Now, I'm assuming that you will continue doing DSA for 6 months. It's not like DSA is kind of, a restricted syllabus. It's very huge and there is no limit to it. But I have already made a roadmap on my channel, what things to study about DSA and what topics to cover, how much to cover. So you can check that out. Now in DSA, when you start covering different topics, there is obviously no limit to it, but you need to restrict yourself according to particular companies and do not go far away, because definitely it will waste your time. Eventually it will help, but it will waste your time because you don't have much time to prepare now, right? Now, when you start doing DSA, that's fine. You have left computer programming, you're continuing with DSA, and so around 3-4 months you'll take to be aware of all the different topics along with some practice over different topics. Now it's up to you to start project or continue with computer programming. But one thing to keep in mind is that you should never leave practice of DSA. You need to have, consistent and daily practice of DSA, either on GFG, Geek for Geeks, or on Lead Code, or any other platform that you prefer, like Hacker Earth or maybe some other, right? So now, when you start your third semester, start learning about some project skills like Android development or mobile development, Android development or web development, or machine learning or deep learning or natural language processing. Now, as according to me, or according to my experience, I preferably say students to learn Android development or web development. Reason being, it is very easy for a student to grasp things in that, and it is very easy for the student to make quick projects in that, right? Machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing are field of research, and it takes time and effort to gain or confidence over that particular domain, right? But in web and Android, things are pretty visible to you, right? When you use machine learning models, you use them like a black box, and it is very difficult for you to make others understand what is happening behind the stage. But in web, it is very easy for you to understand, as well as it is easy for you to make others, understand what things are happening around. So, more preferably, I used to suggest students that you should choose one of the two skills, either Android development or web development in your third semester. Start learning about different frameworks, start building new projects, start with some small projects from the YouTube. Like I started by building small projects from YouTube, then I jumped to GitHub. Now when you start learn build so the best way to learn build some projects or to learn a particular skill is to build projects, right? When you if you want to learn web development, what you will do, you'll go to a book and read about different stuff. No, just go to YouTube, start a tutorial. In the tutorial as well, you will be you will be taught how to build an e-commerce website, for example. So they'll be teaching you by building a project, and by the time you'll complete the tutorial, you'll have a project ready with you, so you already have a project added to your resume, right? It's okay to have the similar project on the internet in your resume, right? It's not like copy paste. You need to know all the technologies that are being used. You need to know how the things are being happening around in that project, right? That is the most important thing. Now when you start learning about a particular skill, start building projects in it. So by the end of your third semester, you have projects in your hand, you have DSA completed, you have a bit of knowledge of computer programming. Now one semester is left before companies will come to your college for giving you internships, right? And you need to, so internship is a thing which is really make an impact on students resume, and it will also help the student to gain edge over others, because sometimes, like in my case as well, I got a PPU after my internship. So uh, it was like I have my whole final year, I can do anything in that because I already have my job in hand after the completion of my internship. So I can explore different technologies, and I started my YouTube channel as well. So it's better to have an internship in hand, but it's not mandatory, just to be clear with it, right? So when we jump into our fourth semester, it's up to us what we have to do. We have to practice DSA on daily basis. We need to make a few projects in a span of 6 months, maybe two, maybe three. A good, intermediate level projects, so some advanced level projects. And in the meantime, as well, when you start learning about projects, you need to gain some general skill of a developer, like Git and GitHub. You need to be aware of that. You need to learn how Git and GitHub works. What is the workflow of that, and you need to be uh, you know uh, you need to you need to be comfortable in those tools, right? Because they will definitely help you in future. Now once the 2 years of your college are completed, companies will visit your college to provide you internship. You have prepared yourself to the limit. You have done DSA, you are comfortable, you have a bit of knowledge about CP, you have projects in your hands, you have your resume ready with you, everything is up to date. But it may be possible you might not get an internship. Reason could be anything. Companies don't visit your college, or you didn't get a chance applying off campus. But what you have to do is, students get to know that companies are not visiting your college, but then you have to try off campus, right? At least for the next 6 months you need to try off campus. Don't lose hope. Just try over. There are multiple platforms, right? AngelList is there, LinkedIn is there. There are some amazing YouTube channels like Ursh Goyal's YouTube channel, or I would say mine also. I used to share some off campus opportunities. So these are the things where you need to keep an eye. If you're not getting an internship in your college, then you need to keep an eye over all the opportunities that are coming out, right? So there are a lot of hackathons, there are a lot of hiring challenges happening over different platforms like Hacker Earth, like Tech Gig or Dare to Compete. So these are some platforms where different challenges occur frequently, where companies hire through these challenges or hackathons. So you need to keep an eye about or all these opportunities. Now moving ahead, now moving ahead with so we are done with opportunities and stuff. Now moving ahead with the referrals. So when you apply for off campus or when you go for off campus placements or internship, referral is one of the most important things that play a major role. Now how to get referrals? Basically, no one will give you referral over LinkedIn if they don't know you personally, or if you don't have enough skills to show them. I got a lot of referrals from LinkedIn. Reason being, I was able to show some skills, like I have done some internships beforehand. If you have good coding profiles on Code Forces or on Code Chef, then you can show that to them, that I have some caliber. I have this much amount of capability to I have this much amount of you know capability to solve problem solving, or I have this much of stars in that platform, or this is my rating at that platform. So these are some of the things that show that you are capable enough, and the person on the other side will definitely recognize you and give you referral for that. Now, even today, like students come to me for referral, and these are the things that I look into their profile. I went through their LinkedIn profile and check if they are into open source or not, if they are into computer programming or not, or if they have done projects or not, have they mentioned their GitHub ID on their LinkedIn or not. So these are the some of the things that really matters to do. Update your LinkedIn on regular basis, and do update with all the stuff that you have done till now. You can check out some amazing LinkedIn IDs that I can mention, like Khushbu Verma's LinkedIn ID. You can check out mine as well. You can check out Urj Goyal's ID. You can check out uh, I don't remember the names, but yeah. So these are few of the LinkedIn IDs that you can take a reference from. These guys, and these are, they are my friend as well. They have mentioned everything what they have done, either related to community, either related to open source, either related to computer programming or projects, or all other stuff. And they really their caliber really reflects from their LinkedIn ID. Even today, a recruiter reached out to me from Amazon, reached out to me for a job, right? So if you are maintaining your LinkedIn profile up to the limit, up to the best, definitely you are going to get opportunities from that. Just be frequent, be active on LinkedIn, interact with a lot of people, connect with a lot of people, interact with different posts that people are posting, comment over them, like them. So this will increase your engagement over LinkedIn, and LinkedIn will recognize your presence over it, and it will recommend you to others. And it may be possible you might be recommended to a recruiter as well, and will be the point of that will be the turning point of your career, maybe. Fine. So we are good now. We have done. We are applying off campus. We know how to gain referrals. Now, one more important thing about referrals is that if you came to know that a company is hiring for internship or full time, what you have to do, you have to go to LinkedIn, at least connect with 25 to 30 people from that company, and then send a note to them that there is an opening in your company, and I find myself the best fit. I find myself a good fit for that. Can you refer me for that particular job opening? And mention some of your skills, or mention some of your profiles basically over it, so that the guy can the you know uh, compute compute basically your caliber. You can also uh, attach your resume with that. It will definitely help the other person to judge you basically, right? Now these are some of the things. Now moving ahead, even if you didn't get an internship, it's okay, it's fine. You just have to be consistent, you just have to be dedicated towards the preparation, because placements are still left, and you are in your sixth semester now. Yeah, so you are in your sixth semester now, and placement season will be coming, right? So need to make sure that on-campus placement should not be the only option to you. You need to apply off-campus as well. So when this particular, time comes, before 6 months, or in your sixth semester, companies you'll came to know during your summer break that many of the companies will start their hiring during this season, like June, July, and December. So these are some of the months where companies hire new employees, right? So you need to keep an eye over all these things. And it's, even if you'll get a company, or you'll get a placement from your campus, it should not be the end, because there is always a probability to get something better, right? Like, my friend, I'll give you a real example. Like, my friend got a placement in United Health Group, but he didn't stop. He practiced even after getting a placement, and UAG provides a good amount of package, right? And it's a good company. But he knew from inside that he is capable of something better. So he kept the practice on. He was dedicated towards the work. He practiced DSA. He built some amazing projects, and eventually he got placed in Microsoft recently, like 10 or 15 days before. He got a placement in that. And after getting a placement in Microsoft, he got offers from Amazon and Airtel as well. So this is a big deal, right? The best thing about him was he was not satisfied, but and he was dedicated towards the things required by a product based company. And these are the things that one should have. One should keep on, keep on trying to get a better placement. So yeah. Now moving ahead, what things we are left with. Mm, Placement is also done. uh, Off campus is also done. Now, is CP required is one of the questions that students have in their mind. Like, one should do CP, or for how much time one should do CP. Like, in my case, I started doing CP in my second semester, and I continued it for at least 1 year. Now, it was up to me that I should continue or not. There was no one to guide me actually that how much CP I should do. But with my experience, and with after listening to a lot of experiences from others, I came to know that CP is required only to increase your problem solving skills, and that problem solving skill will help you in your career definitely, and in clearing the online test as well. The test that happens before the hiring process starts, right? So computer programming will definitely help you in gaining edge over the others in that online test. So for the minimum amount, I would say 3 months of CP is definitely required. And if you are getting interested in that, then definitely continue that, because CP is a thing, is a skill it is a skill for life, because definitely it will increase your problem solving ability, thinking capabilities, and that will help throughout your career, right? And even in your life as well. So I hope this question is clear. If you have any other question related to it, please mark them in the live chat. Moving ahead, so now the crash course strategy for the last 2 months. Yeah, so I'm going to make a video over this as well on my channel. How to prepare for in the last 2 months, like which platform to use. And because by the time when there is 2-3 months left from your placements, you have good amount of knowledge of, you have command over DSA, you have done a lot of questions, you have a good amount of projects, and you are good at problem solving as well. Things which are what you have to do during the 2 months is that uh, you need to pick up a particular platform, for example interviewbit or lead code, and start practicing over these. Preferably, I would say interviewbit, because it has a complete timeline and levels and everything, which is free of cost as well, and it will help you to prepare each and every topics up to the limit. It has a variety of questions with and puzzles and database related questions as well. So it will definitely help. Lead code has a lot of questions, more than 1600 questions are there over it. So students are more confused, and there is a conception as well that the questions over there are pretty hard as compared to GFG. So I would say Interbit is a much better platform because it has a timer as well, and as the time passes, you'll keep on losing the point. So it will give you a atmosphere of doing questions during a interview, right? So definitely it's an amazing platform. Moving ahead, so during the 2 months, you have to do 2-3 questions daily on interview. But if you want to do more questions, you can go on GFG or LeetCode to do some other questions. Now, students, what they do is they continue doing the essay, but they forget about some other stuff as well, like revising your resume, like revising the projects that you have done earlier. These will be the things that will be asked in your interviews, and students may lose some crucial points while explaining the project, or while explaining the resume. Now, some other topics like computer networks or operating system or databases. So these are some of the topics that students should revise in their later week, or the near week of placement. Or if the company is coming in 2 weeks, then you need to revise all these topics by heart. You need to be aware of all the questions, or most frequent questions that are being asked from these topics like computer networks, operating system, or databases, or you got my point, right? Yes. If you have any queries, yeah, please post them in the chat section. Now, moving ahead, this is the complete strategy you can follow during those 2 months before the placement. Now, there is a question among students, like how many questions one should do from a particular topic. For example, if you pick linked list or trees, how many questions one should do from that particular topic. Now, if I take an example of Geek for Geeks, you go there, you have difficulty level filters over there, you have company filters as well. Now go to the difficulty level filters. If you're starting a particular topic, select easy for that and start doing questions from it. It's better to do questions which are being already asked in companies. So there is a kind of tag of companies over each and every question, right? So try to do more of that sort of questions. And then once you gain confidence, like, yeah, now I'm able to do all the questions without looking at the editorial, jump to medium level and start doing medium level question with the same strategy. Now, the thing is, what after getting confidence over medium level questions? Do you have to jump to hard, or above it? Actually, no, you don't have to. So there is a very rare chance that you will be asked a hard level question, or on GFG, the hard level questions caters for 8 marks, which is pretty big amount, right? And so the questions which are there in hard category are actually pretty tough and are very difficult to think and to code during an interview. So according to my experience, I have seen that very less amount of hard level questions are being asked, rather medium level questions are more frequently asked. So this is the thing, right? So once you gain confidence over medium level questions, you can jump to some other topic, that is trees or some, graph. Now, which platform to prefer? It is mostly seen that DFG is one of the favorite platforms among students who are, who want to go to such big companies. But LeetCode and GFG, LeetCode is also pretty famous. It's up to you. What I used to do, being honest with you guys, what I used to do is LeetCode is preferably more tough with respect to test cases and questions. GFG is slightly easy on the easier side. So in order to gain confidence, I used to practice questions on GFG, but in order to test my skills, I used to practice on LeetCode. 2 month time was pretty enough for me to practice a lot of questions on both the platform. So this is the thing. Now moving ahead to next thing, that is projects versus computer programming. What to prefer and what to give more importance. Now, if I talk about me, I may maintain a balance between the two. But right now, I would say I am more inclined towards project, towards development, because I do freelancing as well. Now it's up to you. It's all about your interest. If you are, very much interested in doing computer programming, giving competitions in on Code Chef or Code Forces, you love when you get an accuracy. You love when your rating gets increased, or you get a higher star. Then definitely you should continue doing computer programming on such platform. But if things, building things and learning new technologies, learning new frameworks, learning new tools, interest you, then definitely you should go for development or building projects. Now, in projects as well, uh, you know keeping the motivation on is very difficult, because building projects does not actually rewards you in return, right? So if you have command over different technologies or different frameworks, like for example, if you are good at web development, start doing freelancing. It will definitely help you to grow your network, grow your skills, and eventually you'll earn a good amount of money. Right. So I have been doing freelancing since 2 years now, and it has definitely helped me during my internship as well, in getting an internship as well, and getting a placement as well. So freelancing, helped me to get a placement as well. So definitely it will help you to grow your skills. If you are interested, definitely you should go for development or projects. If you are not, and more interested in what we say, uh, computer programming, then you should go in that. One second, let me go to comments. Okay, there are a lot of comments. There are a few. Okay, so the last thing is off campus placements and referrals. So we have already discussed about it, how to get referrals or where to apply for off campus placement. So recently, if I talk about my experience, I've applied to, so my internship at Fandom Sack completed, and I have a few months before my actual job will start. So I start applying for internships. I applied over AngelList, and I applied to a few companies and got an offer from two companies. Although I rejected them, but you can get, uh, and the best part was during my interviews of those companies, the only thing that was discussed was, projects and technologies that I know. So this is one of the good thing about startups, that they are more concerned about your development skills rather your data structures, or rather your competitive programming profiles. Okay, so this is it, I guess. If you have any questions regarding the things that we have discussed, or if I missed something, or if I spelled something wrong according to you, then do let me know. And Atul, I would recommend you to please take that particular comment at a time, and display it, overlay it on the screen, so that students can also see the question. And I hope you know how to do that.
Uh, Kushal sir, it will be better if you also mention how to structurize, how to design our own resume for
Okay.
placements.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, definitely. So, yeah, with respect to resume, how to get your resume shortlisted and how to build the perfect resume. These are two of the topics that I've already discussed on my channel, and do check that out. But right now, I'll summarize all those things, uh, quickly. Now, the resume should have a few things which are eye-catching to the recruiter. That is the accomplishments, and the second thing would be, uh, the projects that you have built, or the experiences that you had. If you are a fresher, if you are a student who are looking for an internship, it's rare that you might have, internship experiences, or or any kind of experience related to your field. So then the major thing would be your accomplishments till now, or the projects that you have built. The best thing to gain experience, just a quick tip, the best thing to gain experience in your initial years of engineering would be contribution to open source, or contribution to some open source communities. That will definitely help you to gain, for example, GSOC. Right now the awareness about GSOC is so high. There are a lot of other open source programs as well, like MLH fellowship, or like outreachy as well. So there are a lot of things, and there is, yeah, so now the awareness is so high, and these are some of the programs that can gain you some some brownie points in your resume, or some good lines in your resume basically. But if you don't have, then it's okay. The more focus you have to do on your projects and your accomplishments. So these are the two things that are mostly being looked upon by a recruiter or by a hiring manager or something like that. And how you can gain some accomplishments, obviously by participating in competitions, by participating in hackathons. Now mostly hackathons occur online these days. Like there are some platforms like Devfolio or Dare to Compete or TechGig or Hacker Earth. These are the platforms where hackathons are, like, even if you go today to Hacker Earth, you will see 10 hackathons going on. So you just participate in that and gain some, at least build something in that will help you to add a project at least in your resume. And and if things work fine, you might win that particular hackathon, and it will add to your accomplishment as well. So by doing a single thing, you'll eventually, it will be a win-win situation. Either you'll get a project, or either you'll get a project and accomplishment both, right? So these are the things that one should focus while building a perfect resume. And links are very important. Like one should mention the hyperlink to their projects if it's there on GitHub, if it is hosted on GitHub, or if it is hosted on some domain, then share the hyperlink, or do hyperlink that particular text, because it will help the person who is reviewing your resume to go out there and check if you have done something. And it would also give an impression that if it's on GitHub, then it also gives an impression that you are aware of such open source platforms, and you have awareness about the community out there. So that is one of the most important things. Apart from that, um, contact details, and that is fine. Project skills is one of the important thing. Why skills are important? So when you apply for off-campus placements or any kind of internship, then you should keep in mind the job description. When you build your resume, keep in mind that your resume should be with reference to the job description that is there on the company's website or the career page. Because resume will your resume will not be directly given to a hiring manager or a recruiter. It will be passed through some software or some machine learning model that will score or rank your resume. According to that, some shortlisted students will get a chance to have an interview or to give it the test, right? So you need to manipulate your resume according to the job description. So you have to catch a few words. For example, if Python is mentioned in the job description, and if you know Python, so make sure that you have mentioned Python in your skills. It will definitely help you to get a call, right? And even just a quick tip, apart from all this, during online test, some students are like, we need to gain all the points for that particular question. I would say try to gain as many points as you can in all the, cumulatively, right? Because it may be possible the company would be taking the average of all the points that you have got in all the questions that were there in the test, right? So do not stuck to a particular question in gaining all the points. Try to gain as much as you can in each and every question and move ahead. One second. Yep. So this was my strategy, I would say, for building the resume and for the online test. Now let me.
Can you suggest some competitions and hackathons?
Okay, competitions. For example, like if I talk about CodeChef regarding competitive programming, we you have I think 3 or 4 competitions every month, like lunchtime, cook-off, long challenge. On code forces, you have weekly contests. On lead code, you have weekly contests. And Shruti, if you can mute yourself.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. On Hackaret, if you go on Hackaret, you will find some challenges, hiring challenges. You find some hackathons all the time. All the time, you'll see some of the challenges going on. If you go on Dare to Compete, you will see some hackathons going on day in and day out. If you go on MLH, you will find some hackathons going day in and day out. Folio as well, and TechGig as well. So these are the some of the platforms that you can refer to for competitions and for hackathons. And you can follow my channel as well. I do share some hiring challenges and hackathons over there.
Okay, so let's start with the Q&A part.
Yeah, sure.
Uh,
Okay, so
okay,
first
so
question is
first
from
question.
Sunil. Okay, Shruti, you do this one.
First question is from Sunil Rover. He wants you to guide him about the path to be a front-end developer.
Okay, so Sunil, keeping your question in mind, I am assuming that you are a college student only because we are doing a session with college students. Now, first of all, if you want to go to a company, you will be hired as a software engineer, and software engineer can do anything, and they are expected to do anything. So do not restrict yourself to a particular domain, that is front end engineer or back end engineer, something like that, right? Because in the long term, if you are dedicated to front end engineering, and when you'll join a company and you will be asked to do back end engineering, it will be very difficult for you to cope up. But if you're looking to get a job in startups, it will definitely help you because they want people to have a dedicated skill. Now, if you want to know the complete roadmap to become a front end engineer, that is something some other thing to get part to be a front end developer. Now, specifically to be a front-end developer, there are a few frameworks which are there. Like, for example, React is there, Angular is there. There is JavaScript, which is since I'm not proficient in front-end development. I know a few things, some buzzwords which are there in the market, like JavaScript or React or Angular, which are really important to gain proficiency over front-end development. So you need to obviously learn about these skills and start building projects. The best way to gain confidence over a particular skill is to build projects in that. And uh, you can follow some tutorials. Basically, you can go on YouTube, just check out some free code camp tutorial. It's a great platform to learn from. There are some other channels like Coding for Entrepreneurs. They have some amazing tutorial playlists for different domains, so you can check that out. And there is another person called Clever Kazi. There is Telesco. There is Code with Harry. So these are some of the people who are contributing to the community, who have made a lot of playlists with different respect to different domains. So you can check them out and uh, you know start learning from them, and eventually you will be confident over your particular domain. Next.
All right, thank you. The next question is from Aditya Jindal. He wants to ask that doing DSA is necessary before learning web development.
So that's what I said, Aditya. I don't remember if Aditya, right? It's
Yeah,
from Aditya.
yeah,
Okay,
Aditya.
Aditya. So the most important thing for a company, for a product-based company, is DSA. For a second, they will leave you. They will hire you even if you don't have good projects. But you need to have DSA in your hand. You need to have command over DSA in order to be a part of that company. DSA is a must, and that's why in my roadmap as well, I told you first DSA, then project. So I hope this is clear now.
All right, next question is from Rohit Singhal. Is lead code enough or code forces is compulsory?
So these are two different things, and I have seen students being confused among lead code and code forces. Code forces is for computer programming, and if you have good amount of DSA done already, if you have interest in doing computer programming, then definitely choose code forces. But if you're preparing for placements, if you want to get command over your DSA, if you want to be aware of what kind of questions are being asked in an interview, then definitely focus more on lead code.
All right, next question is from Yash. When we have to go for internship in fourth semester summer break or in sixth semester summer break?
So it has been seen recently that students are going for internships in their recent years of engineering as well. By mandatory internship is or mandatory training period is after your third year for 2 months, as per my college and as per most of the colleges in India. But if you want to go, if you're getting a chance to do an internship in your after your second year as well, then definitely go for it. But do not do a unpaid internship. To be honest, I would say, because uh, you know unpaid internship is nearly equal to exploitation. You will learn a lot less, but you will be exploited a lot more. So go for some internship which are paid, and when there is a reward after when there is a reward on doing something, you'll be motivated all the time to do that. So that's why I hope your
Can
answer
you,
is clear.
all
Yes.
right, Vishakha Singhal is asking for you to elaborate into it.
Interview bit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Innovator is a platform by Scalar Academy, and it's a standalone alone platform where you have different levels, considering each and every topic like binary search or maths or linked list or graph or trees or backtracking. So these are different topics of DSA, and Innovator is a place where you have different levels set up. In each level, you have some practice sessions, and then you have a lot of questions which are being asked in different companies, big product based companies. Now when you go there, you practice some questions, you have a timer set up, which is kind of average time that you should complete the question within that time, right? And when as the time passes, then the points, for example, if there is in order to complete that question, you will gain 300 points. You'll gain 300 points. So with time, amount of points kept on reducing. If you are taking a lot of time to do that, you might get very less amount of points to for that particular question. Now, how the points are useful? So those points are just a kind of reward, and it will help you to rank in the leaderboard, and it will help you to gain some motivation to do more questions. That's it, nothing much. And it will also give you some perks over that platform, like asking questions. If you have a lot of points, you can ask questions to experts and all of the stuff.
All right. The next question is from Gagan. When should one start planning about projects required for placements?
So as I already mentioned, Gagan, when you go to your third semester, and if you are sorry, yeah, when you go to your third semester, if you follow the roadmap that I just mentioned, then you have a good amount of command over DSA, and you can start exploring different domains like web development or Android development, and start when you explore different domains and you decide that I will focus more on, I will go forward with web development. Start learning about different frameworks which are there in that particular domain, and the best way to learn a framework is to build a project in that framework, and this is how you can move forward.
So the next question is from Harsh Raj. How to prepare for on-campus placement if I'm basics in coding in 6th sem, but have done one internship and few nice projects?
Oh, so you are at very good stage actually, and it's okay if you have not done good amount of coding. As you mentioned, you are in your sixth sem. Placement season is still after a year, and 1 year is a huge amount of time, and the roadmap for learning DSA is already there on my channel. You can go through that. I've quickly summarized that just a few minutes ago, like how you can practice easy or medium questions on GFG or lead code, and that's how you'll prepare yourself for each and every topic, and you'll gain command over DSA eventually.
All right. Next, Gagan wants some best sources for learning DSA.
So, as I mentioned, there are a few resources out there, few platforms to practice. So, DSA is, I would say, 80% or 70% of practice and 25% of theory. So, the book that I preferred was Narasimha Karumanchi, Data Structures Made Easy. For theory, for making make to learn about the concepts and to learn about the theory, I used that book and GFG. And it is, as I already mentioned, DSA is mostly about practice, so you can use GFG or LeetCode, any of the platform to practice.
Next question is from Jalaj. Does this pandemic affect the placements also?
Yes, it does. So, if I talk about my college, definitely it affected the placement, but I would say the the effect of pandemic was more over the core branches rather than computer science or related branches. The basically the IT sector placements are less affected because the work can be done from home as well.
All right. Next question is from Prabjit. How to start open source?
How to start open? So that's a really good question. So there is a channel on YouTube called Code for Cause, and they are like, you might have heard about Kunal Kushava as well. He's a guy who is, into the community, indulged into the community a lot, and he's contributing to different open source things as well. Even I have, interviewed a lot of people on my channel, a couple of people on my channel who can guide you to start your journey in open source. The easiest way to get started in open source is to start contributing, to go on GitHub and search for some keywords are there, like first contribution, or you know there are a few keywords which you can search over GitHub. You can go over the internet and search like initial bugs, or easy to beginner level bugs. These are some of the keywords which you can search over the GitHub, and accordingly you can start contributing to those repositories. And once you start contributing, you'll gain experience. And so what happens is, when you start doing something, you'll you'll explore the work, the things which are around that as well. So once you start contributing to minor bugs or minor issues on different repositories, you'll came to know more about you'll come to know more about open source, and eventually you'll get command over it and you'll get started. So this is how I experienced as well. When I start doing DSA, there was no one to guide me that this is the amount of question you need to do for a particular topic. So when I start doing trees, there was no restriction for me to not to explore segment trees or not to explore black trees. But if you ask someone today that I should explore segment trees or avial trees or red black trees or fenwick trees, they might say no, they are not being asked in an interview. But I was exploring the things, and when I was watching a tutorial related to binary search tree, there are suggestions on YouTube of Fenwick tree, segment trees as well. So I clicked on that, and that's how I explored new things. So this is how you get started with things and gain experience over it as well. This works in every domain, either on open source, DSA projects as well.
Next question is from Percy. What should we know for applying for internships?
What should we know? So there are two things. If you're applying for internship in product-based companies, big, well-established companies, DSA is a must, obviously, and you need to have good amount of projects. But if you are applying for a startup or in a startup, then your development skills matters a lot. You need to have command knowledge about the all the backstage work of that framework, how the things are happening in the projects that you have built. So that is the thing that matters the most if you apply for startups.
Do you mind sharing your LinkedIn ID?
Yeah, definitely. Give me a second. I'll post it. So how can I comment it? So I have pasted in the Okay, Atul has already. Thanks, Atul.
Welcome.
Okay, and your YouTube channel link is also there. All right. So the next question is from Simple Solutions. How to stop feeling overwhelmed from coding? We have so many things to learn. I often see so many things and see that I do not know all these things. I get overwhelmed and stop coding. What do I do?
Okay. So, how to stay motivated while doing coding? That's I can understand that because even I have faced it. Mm, Being motivated all the time is really a difficult job if you are not getting interested in the stuff that you are doing. So, so there are two things, right? If you are interested, then there will be less chances to get demotivated towards doing coding and doing projects. But if you are not that much interested, and if you're doing it just for to get a good job after at college, which is okay, which is totally okay, not a problem, then you need to put in much efforts. So there is a phrase called effort is the best indicator of interest. So you have to put in more efforts in order to transform your mind basically to gain interest over that domain, and eventually you'll start enjoying that thing, and you'll feel less demotivated. And it's okay to leave DSA for a day or for a day or two. It's okay, just go out there and enjoy whatever things you enjoy, whatever things make you feel good. It's okay to leave DSA for a day or two. Afterwards, I have not done questions since 3 days. Let's do something. Let's do some difficult question. Let's get some questions from Leak Code and start doing that. And to keep a variety of things in your hand, and start building things, because that's why I told you building projects and doing development interest people, some of the folks more than coding. Right? You know how the pages are changing, how the logic is being done, how the data is being going backward, and then the logic is being processed, and then the data is coming to the front end and being rendered. So when things are visible, you feel tend to have more interest on those things. So keep at least DSM project in your hand so that you have a variety of things to do, and it will help you to feel less motivated frequently.
All right. So the next question is from Jalaj. I want to ask one thing. If a company is having bond period, so should we go for it or not?
If the company wants what?
If a company is having bond period,
Okay,
so should
okay,
we
yeah.
go for it or not?
So obviously, Jalad, it is more preferred that you should go to a company which do not signs the bond, obviously, because it will restrict you. And this kind of thing is mostly been seen in companies which are service-based companies, right? So it is mostly preferred that you should not take that thing. But it may be possible that you are obliged to do that. You don't have any other option, so you have to take that thing, right? And so this situation is being faced by many of my friends. They have to take a placement because there were no companies coming because of COVID. So they were kind of मजबूरी होना जिसे हम कहते हैं. So it was forced onto them that they have to. There was no other option to them, so they have to take that. And so what you can do is, if you are in the same situation, just take that placement from for the time being, and start applying off campus to other companies. That is the moment that you are free, you have a backup ready, you have a job ready with you. Now you can try with your full effort for off-campus jobs and gain a better job, obviously. Do
Okay,
30 lakh
so
package releases. Yeah.
do 30 lakhs package really exist for a fresher?
Okay, fresh. You just passes from a tier three college. Okay, so Rahul, interesting question. So 30 lakh package is actually a 30 lakh CTC, I would say. If talk about some company which is providing you 30 to 30 lakh CTC, it is more about, the base pay remains around 13 to 15 lakhs, and the remaining amount is more of a stock that company provides. Now, some students or some people on the internet will say that companies are fooling you, or companies are, just pompous about their package, or showing off their package that 30 lakh LPA come to me, or there is a, their false benefit out of it. They're fulfilling their false benefit out of it. It's not like that, I would say. Stock option is actually a thing which will definitely help you in future. Now, if I talk about Amazon in 2017, whose stock was 700 to 800, in between 7 to 800, it's now 3500, around 3500. So you see, it's like 5 times in 4 years. In just 4 years, if your 1 rupee is becoming 5 rupees, why would you say that your company has fooled you in the first place? No, they have not. If they are telling you that 32 lakh package per year, after 5 years, that amount of stocks had become 5 times. Now, if you divide that particular value that you gained after 5 years by five, then you will see that it was actually 32 lakhs per year. So it's all about your perspective, how you see things. And so just be confident, and be just trust your company, basically. That's it.
All right, so we have a good amount of questions, but we are running out of
Yes,
time, so we
exactly.
must end this
Yeah.
session. So thank you, Kushal sir. It was a very great session, and we hope that this
Pleasure.
session has really gave you all a boost and added value to your knowledge. Now you all will be able to pave your path towards great success.
Thank
I
you,
wish
Kushal
so.
sir, for
And
such wonderful.
thank you, Atul and Shruti, for this session, for inviting me to this session. For all the audience, amazing audience, you listened me for an amount for a good amount of time. If you still have any doubts, check out my channel. Ask your questions there in the community post, or ask questions over LinkedIn. I will definitely revert back. That's for sure. And yeah, so I really had a great time with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kushal sir. Thank you all,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
kindly fill the feedback form that is in the comment section.
Okay.